With multiple blockbuster movies set to release in 2022, this year will undoubtedly be more interesting than the previous one. In March of this year, a slew of new movies was launched in cinemas, on streaming platforms, and on video on demand that you should not miss. Action, romance, drama, humor, adventure, fantasy, sci-fi, horror, and thrillers are among the genres represented in these films. However, while you're here, please like and subscribe to this channel to see more videos like this. Keep watching to the end as I unveil the top 10 new Hollywood movies released in March 2022. Number 10, Off Season. Michael Keating wrote and directed the horror mystery thriller Off Season for RLJE Films. In this movie, the lady named Marie comes to the lonely offshore island where her late mother is buried after receiving a mystery letter indicating that her mother's gravesite has been vandalized. When she arrives, she discovers that the island is closed for the season and the bridges have been lifted until spring, leaving her trapped. Marie quickly recognizes that something isn't quite right in this small town, following a series of weird interactions with the locals. To survive, she must unravel the mysteries behind her mother's turbulent history. Number 9, Ultrasound. Ultrasound is a sci-fi mystery thriller drama directed and produced by Rob Schroeder in his movie directorial debut for Magnet Releasing. It's based on Connor Stechulta's comic book Generous Bosom. Vincent Kartheiser, Chelsea Lopez, Brita Wool, Tunde Adebimpe, and Bob Stephenson are among the actors who appear in the film. The story revolves around a man's sexual encounter with a married woman, which causes them to question their sanity. Glenn is stranded by 2 flat tires on a wet night and must seek assistance from a nearby residence. There, he's greeted by Art, who tries to get Glenn to sleep with his younger wife Cindy. Glenn's anxiety grows as the effects of this bizarre night begin to spin out of control. A short time later, Glenn and Cindy soon find themselves in the middle of a web of lies and manipulation that puts reality to the test. Number 8, Turning Red. Domi Shi makes her movie directorial debut with Pixar's computer-animated coming-out-of-age fantasy comedy adventure Turning Red, based on a script by Shi and Julia Cho. The Academy Award-winning Pixar short Bao was written and directed by Domi Shi. The plot is as follows. Turning Red is a film in Toronto between 2002 and 2003 that follows Chiang, a self-assured 13-year-old Chinese-Canadian who's divided between becoming her mother's obedient daughter and the chaos of puberty. And as if the changes to her interests, relationships, and body weren't enough, she poofs into an enormous red panda over and over again if she gets too anxious or enthusiastic. She later realizes that her family has a shared history with this species. The film explores several elements of puberty that does not directly address biological changes. The film's idea is amusing and relatable in and of itself. Turning into a giant panda feels different than turning into the Hulk. Instead of anger, the main character transforms due to excitement or stress. Number 7, The Adam Project. Jonathan Tropper, T.S., Nolan, Jennifer Flackett, and Mark Levin wrote The Adam Project. It's a Netflix original sci-fi action-adventure comedy. Adam Reed, who's 12 years old and still grieving his father's death a year ago, goes into his garage one night to find an injured pilot hiding there. This mysterious pilot reveals himself to be an older version of himself from a time when time travel was yet in its infancy. He risked everything to make it back in time for a top-secret operation. They must work together to find their father, rectify the wrongs, and save the Earth by traveling back in time. Adam, both young and old, come to terms with their father's death as they labor together and have the opportunity to mend the wounds that have shaped them. The two Adams discover that they don't get along very well, adding to the mission's difficulty. If they are to save the world, they must first figure out how to get along. Number 6, Asking for It. Eamon O'Rourke's directorial debut, Asking for It, is a Saban Films mystery thriller drama written and directed by Eamon O'Rourke. It was produced by Kiersey Clemens, Lee Broda, Ezra Miller, and Luke Daniels. The story unveils a small-town waitress who befriends a mystery stranger, Regina, after being sexually attacked on a date with her old friend Mike. The Cherry Bombers, a vigilant squad of tough women, are introduced to her by Regina. They band together to exact ultimate vengeance while obtaining their kind of justice. They combat a misogynistic society by attacking aggressive frat boys, a corrupt police force of human traffickers commanded by Sheriff Morrill, and the dangerous alt-right group Men's First Movement, led by Mark Vanderhill, all of whom have had past traumas. Sal's old flame, Logan County Sheriff Vernon, investigates MFM as Joey is lured deeper into their chaotic world, ultimately a thrilling showdown. Number 5, A Day to Die. A Day to Die is a heist action film directed by Wes Miller and written by Rab Berry and Scott Malice for Vertical Entertainment. Bruce Willis, Frank Grillo, Leon Robinson, and Gianni Capaldi feature in the film. Among other things, Connor Connolly, an ex-military ops officer, has one day to pay a local gang lord $2 million in reparations to save his kidnapped pregnant wife. Connor must employ the services of his old crew, led by Bryce Mason, to pull off a series of deadly narcotics heists to clear his debts and settle a score with the city's corrupt police chief, who's working with the gang boss who double-crossed him years ago. The crew must rely on their tactical training and kinship to save themselves and those who matter most in the race against time. Willis and Grillo are famed for their action movies, and they release a slew of them on VOD every year. The R-rated action film will be released in restricted theaters and on demand at the same time. Number 4, The Changed. The Changed is a sci-fi horror mystery film directed by Michael Mongillo and written by Mongillo and Matt Giannini for Quiver Distribution. In the plot, something has taken control of the people's hearts and brains. Kim, Mac, and Jane try to tell themselves that it's only paranoia, but the Changed soon encircle the city. A horde of Changed has gathered outside their suburban home by the time they realize an alien intelligence has joined with their neighbor, Bill. Will our heroes be able to defeat the invaders, or will they be doomed? Number 3, Fresh. Fresh is a comedy, horror, thriller, drama produced by Hulu and Searchlight Pictures and directed by Mimi Cave in her directorial debut based on a script by Lauren Kahn. Legendary Pictures and Hyper-Object Industries collaborated on the picture, which Adam McKay produced alongside Kevin J. Messick and Maeve Cullinane. The movie Fresh depicts the difficulties of modern dating through the eyes of one young woman's brave struggle to overcome her new boyfriend's strange desires. Noah meets the appealing Steve at a grocery shop, and despite her frustration with dating apps, takes a chance and gives him her phone number. Noah is thrilled after their first date and accepts Steve's invitation to a romantic weekend vacation, only to discover that her new lover has some unusual tastes. Number 2, The Batman. Batman is a DC superhero criminal action drama produced by Warner Brothers Pictures and based on the DC Comics. It's a remake of the Batman film series. Matt Reeves directed the movie and he co-wrote the screenplay with Peter Craig. The picture is practically noir style and it dwells deeper into Batman's investigative side than in the previous series, drawing inspiration from the 1970s films. It's not a part of the DC Extended Universe. Reeves was able to take the film on his path because Warner Brothers included the multiverse in its DC projects. The film is set in a parallel universe known as Earth 2. The film follows Batman as he uncovers corruption in Gotham City while on the hunt for the Riddler, a serial killer who preys on the city's wealth. The Riddler and the Penguin are fantastic selections for Bat-villains in this unique tale. When a vicious killer targets elite Gotham City citizens, leaving behind a trail of cryptic clues, Batman dwells into Gotham City's underground during his second year of battling crime. As he uncovers wrongdoings linked to his own family during the inquiry, the scope of the perpetrator's objectives become obvious, and he's forced to form new alliances to apprehend the Riddler and bring justice to the city's long history of power abuse and corruption. This is undoubtedly one of the most anticipated films of 2022. The expectation is out of this world, with fans eager to see Batman in a detective role, and the film has the most comic book vibe of any of the previous Batman films. The trailer for this film have been nothing short of spectacular. The movie has the potential to be the best live-action Batman feature yet. Number 1, The Weekend Away. When a lady is accused of killing her closest friend, a weekend visit to Croatia goes bad. As she works to clear her name and discover the truth, she uncovers a painful secret, and each discovery reveals a new falsehood. The Weekend Away is a Netflix original criminal mystery thriller directed by Kim Farrant, who is known for films like Strangeland and Angel of Mine. Sarah Alderson wrote the script, which is based on Alderson's best-selling novel of the same name. The main characters are played by Leighton Meester, Christina Wolf in Batwoman and the Royals, Ziad Bakri in Blind Son, and Amr Bookwick in On the Border, and Luke Norris in Been So Long. These are among the other members of the cast. The Weekend Away premiered on Netflix on March 3rd, 2022. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. I will see you next time. Goodbye.